We be live!
Serving shaitan with a smile.
Oh yeah, guys, this is the first time we have Anna and Elliot together. These guys just met each other. This is yay. All right. Oh, by the way, so we're gonna review this video from these three Muslims, Muhammad, Hijab, Ali Dava, and Smile to Jannah, responding to a debate that Piers Morgan had. But before we get into that, Anna has to tell us something. Anna is watching from Israel, and she might have to get up and leave at any moment. So we want to let everyone know why she might have to do that. Anna, explain yourself.
Yeah, so as you know, the war between Israel and Hamas didn't stop at the 7th of October. It is still ongoing, and Hamas are daily bombing Israeli cities on a daily basis, and we never know when a rocket would come and fall. So whenever there is a siren, I must go immediately to the safe room in order to save my life and, of course, the lives of my family as well. Yeah.
And your cat. I mean, you mentioned the family.
Your cat.
Yes.
Yeah, the first thing I do is to grab my cat and take him to the safe room. So
good.
Yeah.
Yes. It helps that your cat is old and doesn't move fast enough, because if this happened to me, I would have to be chasing my dog and we will all be dead before we know it. Like, so yeah, so that's good.
No, my cat.
Because
my cat
if I go, yeah,
he barely ever moves. Like for him, a siren is like music to his ears. Like he doesn't even notice this.
if I went really fast towards my dog, she would be like, "Oh my god, we're playing a game." She would think that.
Come here, Fluff. Come here, Fluff. Rockets are falling.
Like, yay, chasing. All right, so let's watch these Dawa guys. Yes, exactly, Seth. And so I'm gonna let Elliot and Anna react to this, and then I'm gonna tell you what my take is. So before we get into the reaction, there's an ad at the beginning of this video, and I know it's not relevant to the video, but it's kind of funny, so I just want to watch that as well.
It's worth watching.
Hey, you! Are you wasting your time on social media again? Your brothers and sisters in Islam Net from Norway are establishing a masjid, a dawah center. Establishing a masjid to convey the message of Islam is one of the best deeds a Muslim can do. There's a huge need for it in Norway. You know this and I know this. So that makes the reward even greater. So give generously and Allah Azza wa Jal will give you even more.
Right. So, hold on. Let me get to this. So, what do you think about that ad?
Like my mom, literally, just right now, she came through my door, like a little bit peeking through the door, and said that Jerusalem is being bombed right now. So they are constructing a masjid in Norway while they are bombing like Al-Aqsa and all the masjids in Jerusalem, which I find it ironic.
Yeah, very.
Like they don't even care if Hamas rockets lands on Al-Aqsa, and they don't care if it lands like on 40% Muslims. Okay, live in Jerusalem. It's 40% Muslim. Like they have.
But Anna, I was told that all of the actions by Hamas on October 7th was a legitimate response to what Israel did at Al-Aqsa Mosque a while. That if they were bombing that area indiscriminately, you know, that would go against that narrative. That would make them sound like liars. You know, I would hate to accuse those people who support a terrorist group to be liars. I don't know. Maybe there's another reason. They're currently bombing Jerusalem. Could be anything.
So basically, they try to portray themselves as the saviors of Al-Aqsa while bombing Jerusalem, but they know that even if their rockets land on Jerusalem or Al-Aqsa, okay, they can always blame Israel. They can just say it was an Israeli rocket, or Israel is to blame because it didn't blow it in there with the Iron Dome. You know? This is
Yeah.
the kind of narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It's Israel's fault that they don't stop every attack with the Iron Dome. It's Israel's fault that they aren't defending themselves better from other people trying to murder them. That's just think about that, y'all. Just think about that, and understand there are people who legitimately agree with that statement. It's absolutely ridiculous and backwards. But also, I just want to say real quick, like, I think if there is a single masjid in the world that is being built with the help of people like Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawa, I think it's perfectly acceptable to say we should be extremely suspicious of that particular masjid. That's just my thought. Like, it just imagine like a Yahtzee, starting a cultural center in your town, and then you being like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we shouldn't allow this white supremacist to build this center here. I just throwing that out there. So
Yeah, and I try to also be in Telegram channels of Iranians who support the Islamic Republic, or like Arab channels on Telegram, and they are proud that their rockets get to Jerusalem. Like, they don't hide it or something. No, they are like, yeah, we will bomb Jerusalem. And how is it goes with defending Al-Aqsa? Yeah.
You really should question your stance if you're on the pro bombing people side. If you're on the yes, let's kill them, you might want to rethink your position. But hey, that's just my thoughts. But
so, I mean, if I was like a Muslim who supported these people, I would say, bombing, it makes complete sense. We could rebuild the building. We have to liberate the people. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I would like, this is a religious duty to attack the enemies of Allah, and buildings, like, we are built. What matters more is what we do, what we build for our akhirat, what for our afterlife. And buildings, the utility of a building, in as so far as it can help you build your relationship with God, is more important than the literal bricks. At the end of the day, bricks could be put back together again, but if your soul is lost and you die, you lose that opportunity. And again, some people might accuse us of, like, why are you building a mosque in Norway? Aren't there more important things to do? Like, aren't there Muslims suffering from starvation, from lack of access to medical aid and stuff? Like, wouldn't you require to isn't it better to prioritize that? And then, as a Muslim, I would say those are good things, but what is more important? I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, and we do that, but I'm going to prioritize saving people's souls over saving people's body, because your body is temporary and your soul is forever. And people are like, why are you focusing on Norway? Like, why aren't you helping Islamic country? I'm like, I should actually be focusing in Norway, because that is the land of kufr.
Right.
That is the land of disbelief. That's the best place to make a difference, to reach out to people and to make them Muslim, because they are suffering more. They think like they're wealthy. They think that they are rich. They think that they are better off, but they are actually even more poor than Muslims in Yemen, because the Muslim in Yemen might not have medicine, they might not have water, they might not have food, but they have Iman, they have Islam, they have faith. It's the people who are in Norway who think they are rich, but they are not, because they are lacking the most important thing, which is faith in God, faith in Allah, which is the Iman. So we are helping the people that are in need the most. That would be the narrative. Go on, Anna.
Well, I just want to mention, you said that the building isn't important, but Jerusalem is nearly half Muslim. It is like 40% Muslim. So killing Muslims is also unimportant?
Yes,
I mean,
because yeah, of course, because that, okay, if they die in our attempt, again, guys, YouTube, I'm not saying this, by the way. I am making this is like a role playing. I don't believe in any of this crap. Okay, so just want to make sure that we don't get it right. So of course, while you're doing jihad, there will be collateral damage, and those people will
course.
die, and that's a tragedy, of course. But they will, if they're good Muslims, they will die and go to heaven. So not much is lost. If anything, in fact, maybe we did them a favor because they became shaheeds in the way of, I'm sure if they're proper Muslims, they understand and they would be happy to have been.
They've been martyred for the cause of Allah. Like, they get bigger rewards in heaven. Allah's gonna look at them after they're dead and be like, "Oh, congrats for dying in a better way. Like, thank you for." I mean, so I think your analysis is spot on, Armin. I just think it's insanely gross. Am I the only one that feels that way? Like, everything you just said, I think is right. I think you put the Muslim hat on perfectly and gave the exact right responses. The problem, though, is that those right responses are disgusting, right? It's literally
it's Islam.
Yeah, there you go.
Of course it's disgusting.
That's it.
By the way, Maya from Jerusalem is confirming right now what Anna just said. She's in Jerusalem, and they're being bombed as we speak in Jerusalem, the city of God.
Yeah, it wasn't planned. Like, just as Armin showed this ad for a masjid, we are bombed in Jerusalem. Maybe it's a sign.
Right. Yeah. Space is giving me an amazing compliment, saying Armin is better at defending jihad than the Dawa gang. Yes. Well, we'll see. Let's see how they defend it. So, okay, let's continue.
Looters that came out of Gaza who were not part of Hamas.
So my simple question.
Wait. What was that sentence? Let me go to the beginning.
Oh, yeah, this is an absurd sentence. This guy says.
Oh, by the way, look at the opening of Muhammad Hijab. He sees himself as a lion of Islam. Look, he puts a lion and he writes, like, it doesn't get any more. Like, look, he just puts Muhammad Hijab with the background of a roaring lion. This is how he sees himself. Look at this.
He's really
like, look.
I know.
Yeah, look.
Really.
It's so too much on the nose.
We should call him like Kitty Hijab or something, like play it up and just be like, "Oh, look at you, you're so cute. Oh, scritchy. Oh, look at you, little kitty cat."
Yeah, let's see what he says.
There was looters that came out of Gaza who were not part of Hamas.
So my simple question. My simple question is this: was it a terror attack?
So before he answers that, what is he pointing out here? There are looters that came out of Gaza, right? So is he trying to whitewash, like, say that was not Hamas? That this? Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So yes, because when Armin sent me this video, y'all, I watched it and I was like, okay, I'm a little confused about what's going on. Mainly because these three, bumbling idiots don't ever provide much context. So, I went and I watched the full interview, and yes, that sentence that he is saying there when he says it was looters that came out of Gaza, what he is literally directly responding to, is Piers Morgan saying, "Hey, wasn't that attack on October 7th by Hamas a bad thing? Wasn't that a terrorist attack?" And the guy's response is, "Oh, actually, it wasn't Hamas. It was just a bunch of it was so weird. It was a coincidence. There was like just a large group of bad people standing on the border, just waiting to go slaughter a bunch of people. It's just a bunch of looters, just a bunch of random people. This isn't connected to Hamas." That's literally what that guy said. So now we've got, just in case anybody's not keeping up with the insane conspiracy theories, we've got a bunch of random looters from Hamas or from Gaza just decided to go slaughter people in Israel at a music festival. We've also got the crazy conspiracy theory that actually it was just the IDF. The IDF just turned their own bombs and guns on their own people. So we're up to those two. If anybody has heard a third one, please let me know, because I'm trying to keep track. But yeah, that's what he's saying. He's literally just pretending as if the October 7th attack was just a bunch of random people, Armin. It was a mob. We have no idea why they did it, in fact. Who knows? Oh, Space Alien, that's a really good point. Yeah. Why is Hamas taking responsibility? Why are they posting videos saying, "Look what we did"?
So the narrative is that Hamas's attack was pretty clean and like not like killing civilians.
Right.
If there were attacks, so yeah, so they would say yes, Hamas did October 7th attack, but all of these RAPE and killing of civilians and children, that was not Hamas. That was just random Gazan civilians that just walked in. Okay, which is obviously is insane. We don't even need to tell you how insane that is. But if that was, then doesn't that make it worse?
I mean,
kind of. You're saying you're going up because I have a lot to say about this.
Well, if you say it was just a bunch of looters, then you basically say that the citizens of Gaza are all like this, like they are like
what? Not all, but even
not all, but a lot of them, and then you actually justify you justify killing civilians in Gaza. Like this serves the opposite narrative. This serves the opposite narrative because if you accuse civilians did it, if you accuse that civilians did it, then you say okay that Israel can now just that there are no innocent civilians. Like it serves the opposite narrative that there are no innocent civilians in Gaza.
Go on, Elliot. I just tell you my take.
I'm agreeing with that. If you take that narrative, it does make this a lot more difficult for them, just because it's like, wait, are you saying there's just a large group of people in Gaza that are willing to commit this type of violence just as normal citizens? Because then, there's a much bigger problem on the hands of the IDF right now. Like, because currently what their stance is not everybody in Gaza is Hamas. Hamas wants to genocide us. We need to get rid of Hamas, right? But it sounds like what this guy is kind of arguing for is that no, in fact, just the people in Gaza themselves feel this way, which again is not great for his side. So I don't think that's what he's trying to say, but it's kind of how it came out.
So before I tell you my take, I just want to say that Roy just gave us 6 shekels from Israel, saying 6 Mayan currency for you guys. The reason why he's saying 6 Mayan currency is because I made a comment earlier in previous streams that the symbol for shekels, initially the first time I saw it, I thought this is some Mayan symbol because for some reason to me that looks like a Mayan symbol, but yeah, I think this was an attempt to cover up, for people not to find out that we're getting supported from inside Israel by Zionists. But I just blew that cover by mentioning that this was shekels. So sorry. Next time I will say Mayan currency. But go ahead.
Yeah. Just we need to keep the the Zionist support here at this channel on the down low, Armin. Don't let anybody know that we support Israel or Israelis have supported us. Don't do that, okay? That would be terrible. That would be bad.
So let me tell you how I feel about what they just saying. Like, oh, this was just a couple of looters, right? So these are the same people who would not say publicly that they support Hamas. So look at our position. In our streams, we try to show you some Gazans that are not supportive of terrorist attacks, just so that we are against people generalizing Palestinians. Like, we are trying to support Israelis and Palestinians, and we don't like it here when people try to generalize the entirety of Gazans and try to condemn everyone. So we are on our streams, we support Israel, but we also try to show people not to go anti-Palestinian, not to go anti-Gazans, and to understand that there is different views there. And even if people with bad views, we don't wish them harm as long as they haven't done anything themselves. So we support Palestinians, and that's why we show you the different narratives that comes there from the ground. So we're anti-Hamas and we support Palestinians. But look at what they're trying to do. They don't say that they support Hamas, But when given the chance to show who's vile and who's disgusting, and when they have to pick between Hamas and average Gazans, average Palestinians, they throw the average Gazans under the bus to try to save Hamas. Like, tell me who's anti-Palestinian here? They're like, no, please don't condemn Hamas. This was just your average non-Hamas Palestinian. Like, what are you doing? Tell me, like, isn't it obvious that they trying to save Hamas from all accusations? They are pro-Hamas. They never tell you that they're pro-Hamas, but they are even willing to go as far as condemning average Gazans just to save Hamas. You can't get more pro-Hamas than this, and you can't get more anti-Palestinian than this.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. It's a weird choice when given the option to condemn a terrorist group or the average citizens of a country, and you chose to condemn the citizens. It's a weird choice,
right?
An odd choice.
Yes.
Let's see if it works out for them. But
let's see that.
Yeah, and it does the opposite of what they want. Like I as I told earlier, it means that they say that there are no that these civilians are not regular civilians, and that they are also militants like this. Right. So
yeah, it's a very dangerous narrative. It's like it's something I would expect from a bigoted anti-Arab person to say, trying to justify killing civilians. You know, that's how I would assume would say something like that. But okay,
in fairness,
if this is what Palestinians have to support, like I feel bad for Palestinians if this is these are the voices out there supporting us. But go on.
It is terrible who is on their side, unfortunately.
Right.
But remember, Armin, that Mohammed Hijab has called multiple times for a full-scale invasion of Gaza by the IDF. So I'm truly not sure what he wants at this point, because I don't know. I don't know what this guy. It's almost like he has no understanding of the situation and just wants to yell about how bad Jews are. It feels like that sometimes, you know? I mean, I'm sure that's not it. I'm sure he's really intellectual, but anyway, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we got a super chat, so I'm going to read this and then let's watch the rest of the video. Graham is saying Hamas was democratically elected by average Palestinians. So regarding that, Hamas, when it was elected, first of all, it didn't get the majority vote. It got the most votes, but even though it wasn't the majority vote, at that time, many Palestinians also did not understood how corrupt and evil Hamas will be. Eventually, so it got 40-something%, which is less than 50%. And then after Hamas came into power, their approval rates dropped from 40-something% all the way down to 12%. But even if it was still a majority, you can't generalize. So, for example, let's say the support for Hamas in Gaza is, I don't know, 80%, for example. 20% is significant. 20% is, let's say 70%. That leaves hundreds of thousands of Gazans that are not pro-Hamas. Even the ones who are pro-Hamas, I still don't want them to suffer. You know, I don't want them to die. You know, I don't want them, you know, I don't think we could condemn people for having bad views. But you have to understand the ones that are not pro-Hamas, even if it was one person left that didn't have these vile views, I would not generalize. So when you see numbers like 20%, 30%, remember that we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, which again it leaves no excuses for you to generalize. But again, the numbers are higher than that. But go on, Elliot. You want to? Oh, Anna, you want to say something, and then Elliot, if you want to say.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say, even if the support for Hamas is like very, very widespread, like even 80% or so, I can't really blame the people of Gaza for supporting Hamas, because, like, from very early age, at schools and in the masjids, everything is controlled by Hamas, so they aren't open to other ideas, to other ideologies. So I can't really blame them for having a bad ideology.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into the Well, yeah. I mean, I could talk about that for an hour, because if we want to go the determinist route, then we can't blame anything for anybody at that point. But again, that would be a philosophical discussion that I don't want to open that door right now.
Are you determined to say that, Armin?
Yeah, I have no choice.
Suck it, atheist.
Well, but education and media,
Yes.
education, media, and religious authority, all these
Yes.
parts are controlled by Hamas. So yeah, and they play a huge role in what a person believes to.
Obviously, yes. All right, let's watch the rest of this video.
Anyone who killed civilians, should be condemned.
Oh yeah, so let me actually tell you what's happening in the second part, right? So when Piers Morgan is asking him, would you condemn Hamas, or would you say Hamas is a terrorist? The standard answer right now by Muslims is anybody who kills civilians should be condemned. So what you would not, a lot of people, I think, hold on, let me finish this. Piers Morgan used to be like, okay, so they condemn Hamas. I think somebody told Piers Morgan, no, they're not. Right? So because a lot of people would be satisfied, like when you say, like, hey, would you condemn Hamas attack? They would say, anybody who kills civilians, I would condemn that. But like, okay, they just condemn Hamas, so I don't have to say anything. I don't like Piers Morgan. What are you doing? They did not condemn Hamas. You should make them say the line that I condemn Hamas, that I would say Hamas is a terrorist group. And Piers Morgan used to just move on with that, thinking that he got what he asked for. Now somebody had told him that was a trick. They didn't actually answer your question. So now he's like, no, say the line. Say that I condemn Hamas. Because when they say, so you have to understand, these Muslims, when they go on Piers Morgan, Muhammad Hijab, and other people, they understand that there's a mainstream viewer who will see it really, really disgusting if you don't condemn Hamas. But it's also their fans, their Muslim followers, who would hate you if you say I condemn Hamas. So they're trying to walk a line. They try to have it both ways. How do I not get this mainstream audience to think that I'm a terrorist sympathizer and not lose my Muslim fans? So I would say that I would condemn anybody who is killing civilians, because these idiots who are watching Piers Morgan think that I just condemn Hamas, but also my audience, my Muslim fan base, would understand that we believe in conspiracy theories, that these Zionists and this mainstream media is lying about Hamas, and Hamas didn't just kill civilians.
Right.
So technically, I did not condemn Hamas. Right.
Right.
Go on,
Right.
Yeah.
I actually want to highlight a view that is rife across the Muslim world, that there are no civilians in Israel. I will explain. Because the men go serving in the army and the service is mandatory, so the men aren't civilians, and if they are old, they served in the army in the past, and if they are young, they will serve in the army, so the men aren't civilians. The women serve in the army, so women also aren't civilians, and therefore you can kill anyone who is old, young, women or men. And there are no civilians in Israel. So when he says, I will condemn everyone who is killing civilians, he means that these civilians are not Israelis. In his view, just like as Sheikh al-Qaradawi used to say, that the entire territory of Israel is viewed as a military base with no civilians whatsoever, so you can kill all of them and it wouldn't be condemned.
Actually, Anna, you made a very good point, because what I said was not complete, because there are many Muslims who are their fans who actually do believe Hamas killed Israelis. They don't think like, oh no, this is a conspiracy theory. They were like, no, Hamas did kill Israelis and did a good job. And they will still listen to this guy and think that he's not condemning Hamas, because he's saying I condemn anybody who kills civilians. Well, no Israeli is a civilian. They're all occupiers. They're all militants. So he still did not condemn Hamas. Exactly. I'm glad that you said that, because what I said was not complete at all. And also we got more shekels. Amazing. We got more shekels from Noam saying, Allahu Akbar, lots of support from an atheist in Israel. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. It warms my heart to get like Mayan currency. I'm just kidding. Sprinkle is saying, oh, this is pesos, I think. Yes. So we got Sprinkle is saying almost all national liberation movements were labeled as terrorist group. You guys are falling for the Israeli apartheid regime propaganda. Well, here's the thing.
Nothing to do with anything.
This is not a liberation movement, okay, as they say themselves. They're not trying to liberate Palestinians. They themselves say that they're okay with having all Palestinians dead as long as it serves their agenda when it comes to killing Israelis. But go on, Anna. I know you want to have to say something about it.
Well, I have one thing to say, that Hamas also kidnapped and knowingly killed Muslims and Arabs who live here. So who they are trying to liberate exactly? If they kill their own people, isn't it strange that they kidnapped Aisha al-Ziadna and hold Aisha for 2 months together with her family members, and her father and brother are still in Gaza? Like, are they doing this for what? For what exactly? Because they know, even Hamas knows, that Israel cares more for Israeli Arab citizens, for Muslims in Israel, than Hamas. The only reason for them to kidnap Muslims is because they want to use these Muslims as a bargaining coin. This is the only reason. And if Israel wasn't caring for Muslims, they wouldn't take these Muslims, right? So even they know that Israel cares for its Muslims, for its Muslim citizens.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And I just real quick, I want to comment on what Sprinkle said. I mean, good on you, Sprinkle, for saying almost all national liberation movements, as opposed to just saying all national liberation movements. You at least got that right, and I'm proud. So I always want to congratulate people for getting even the most basic things right. The problem is that even if it was all national liberation movements were labeled as terrorist groups, your statement here is still fallacious. It's still logically problematic, because even if all of the liberation movements in the past were labeled as terrorist groups, that actually doesn't say anything about this particular supposed liberation movement. So even if you were correct, which you're not, you would still be wrong. So that's just a big fan of logical.
Anyways, guys,
exactly.
That's a good point. Let's watch this.
Attack. Anyone who
Okay, so listen to how Piers Morgan said, would you condemn it or would you say it's a terrorist attack? Let's see how he responds based on what we said.
My simple question is this. Was it a terror attack?
Anyone who killed civilians, should be condemned.
It's a terror attack.
Reprehensible. Anyone who kills civilians is a criminal
Was it a
act.
terror attack?
What?
October the 7th.
And when I asked you, you said, what define a terror attack is that you target
You've
civilians,
had the
right?
definition from Douglas.
Yes, okay, you target civilians, right? So then I want to ask, I'll answer that question.
Just answer
I want to ask that question, but I just for sake of consistency, when the British Army targeted German civilians...
Right there. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you go ahead. No, Elliot. Yeah.
Well, and I said this before we went live. I genuinely believe these three people think that just frustrating somebody in a conversation and never answering their question is like a victory. Like, don't actually give any clarification. Don't explain yourself whatsoever. Just frustrate the person who's asking you a question to the point that they just give up. Because, like, I have no idea what they think is so funny about that, other than just frustrating Piers Morgan. Like, now, I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan. I don't think he's a fantastic interviewer. Like, I just don't think he's that great.
I think he's been good. Honestly, recently he's been a lot better than before. So
yes, he's been doing better, but I don't think the bar was very high to begin with, you know. But the point is just like, why would you celebrate somebody who, when given the opportunity to clarify their position and maybe even further that position in the general understanding of people, right? When given that opportunity, instead of doing that, you just try to confuse people. Like, why would anybody celebrate that? I don't understand. But it's these clowns, it's these idiots. So anyway,
go on, Anna.
By the way, I didn't understand here if he's trying to make an analogy between Britain and Israel or between Britain and like the Gazians.
Well, we
like,
haven't got we haven't got to no, we haven't got to that point yet. So I will explain what just happened, right? So hold on, let me actually remove this comment so then I could. No, we haven't got to the Britain part. But listen, so what happened was, I don't. These people are laughing, even though they should be. This is such an embarrassing moment for them. But
Right.
you know, their audience is so stupid. Just they are laughing it through, even though this is such a major loss for them. This is such an embarrassing point for them. The average viewer of Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dava, and Smile Susanna thinks that, oh, this must have been a win for us because the people who we follow just laughed. That's seriously the level of analysis that goes into this from your average viewers that these people have. And I think that's why they laugh. Because this was such a bad moment for them, and there's no way to whitewash and make excuses. There's nothing you could say to make this less embarrassing. So all you do, you laugh, and as a viewer, you think like, wait, why was this a win moment for us? Because I don't understand why this was a win moment for us. But maybe I'm stupid. These people that I follow are laughing, so this must have been a win moment for us. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes for these people to come out and think that they just won. Because look, the Muslim is like, what do you want me to condemn? Like what? Like October 7th? Like, well, let me ask you a question. No, you moron. We just asked you a question. Well, let me clarify something. Dude, it's a simple, clear question. Was the October 7th attack a terrorist attack? Well, let me go through the definition of terrorism. We just did. Right before this, we just did. We agreed on the definition. It's a yes or no question. You got moron. This is so embarrassing for them. And the only way they could make this look like it's not embarrassing is to laugh at it. That's why they're laughing. So let's watch it again. See how... Yeah, go on, Elliot.
Well, no, I think it's a very good point because Piers Morgan has directly asked this man 3 times in a row about the October 7th attack. And the 4th time he asks, the guy responds with, what? Piers Morgan said,
what?
Will you condemn it? And he goes, what? As if he hasn't been listening at all for the last 2 minutes and has just been just vomiting up the same BS that he's been saying over and over and over again. The words don't even mean anything. He's just saying it because he knows it's a good non-answer. Like, but yeah, again, this is supposedly a big own for the Dawa gang here, but I don't know.
So here's what I would do if I was one of these idiots and I was trying to this is the level of, like, let me give you, I don't know why these people are so famous when they can't, they don't know 101 propaganda. Let me teach you how to do propaganda. Okay. So when you ask, let's say I was a Muslim apologist for Hamas and stuff, ask me like, do you condemn, ask me, Armin, do you condemn the October 7th attack?
Yeah. Armin, do you condemn the October 7th attack by Hamas?
How dare you? How dare you? What a disgusting question. I refuse to answer this question. I know why you're doing this. I know why. How dare you even talk about Hamas in the face of the genocide that we're seeing happening in Gaza? You're just trying to distract. I will not answer the question. You're trying to distract the audience from what we are witnessing right now in Gaza. This is how you do propaganda.
That's
you don't
a good
go
point,
like,
though. That is good.
Yeah. You don't like, what attack? Huh? Let me ask you a question. What do you mean even by terrorism? This is what I just said is how you do effective propaganda. Okay?
I just for the comparison here, I'd love to try this again because I just want people to see the difference, okay, between answering a question and not answering a question, right? Especially such a critical question like this, right? Anna, quick question. Do you condemn the October 7th attack by Hamas?
Well, can you please define attack at first, like, what attack do you mean? Is it verbal? Is it on Instagram?
Do you guys do y'all get the point? Which is, if you respond with like anything more than like a yes or a no, you're just trying to BS your way to not answering the question, and you're essentially just supporting the terrorist attack. Do you get that, folks?
Right.
Do you understand what we're trying to lay out for you?
Before you define terrorism for me, you have to first define for me, okay? Because we can't move forward.
Yes, it's really
okay,
good.
yeah.
Honestly, none of us even know that we exist for real. So, like,
right.
who even knows what happened? Could all be a simulation. Yeah, I mean,
yes. All right, guys, we should go through this video, okay? So it's like
anyone who kills civilians is a criminal.
Was it a
act.
terror attack?
What?
October the 7th.
And we now asked you, you said, what define a terror attack is that you target
You've
civilians,
had the
right?
definition from
Yes, okay, you target civilians, right? So then I want to ask, I'll answer that
No,
question.
just answer
I
the
want to ask that
question.
question, but I just for sake of consistency, when the British Army targeted German civilians in World War II, was that a terror attack?
No, because they were responding to Nazi Germany's attempt to destroy the world.
Wait a minute.
So
Wait, rewind that, Biggie. Rewind that, Biggie.
Wait a minute.
This is the bit. This is the bit. This is the bit, bro. This is a strong, very strong ending.
This is the bit where you say what Hijab says. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. Listen to it. Listen to this very carefully. Yeah.
What define a terror attack is that you target
You've
civilians,
had the
right?
definition from
Yes, okay, you target civilians, right? So then I want to ask, I'll answer that
No,
question.
just answer
I
the
want to ask that
question.
question, but I just for sake of consistency,
Just answer my question.
targeted.
Yes, what are you making fun of him? He wants to answer the question. Why are you making fun of that? You should be making fun of your guy.
Because
Unbelievable.
I'm telling you, that it was at that point that I was like, I think they truly value frustrating the person that they're talking to. I don't believe that they think answering the question and just standing on what their actual point is the way to have these discussions. Like, that to me is the definition of cowardice. That to me is the absolute weakest person to ever make a point. If you believe something, if you actually hold this statement as true, stand up and say it like a grown-up. Don't be a child, Muhammad Hijab. Don't be a coward, Ali Dawa. Grow up, Smile to Jenna. Come on. If you actually feel these things, answer the question. Do you condemn the October 7th attack by Hamas? Yes or no? It's so easy. And not answering purposefully and trying to just frustrate people who want to clarify, all you're doing is making yourself look unintelligent. All you're doing is making yourself look like a little kitty cat, Muhammad Hijab, not a lion, a little house cat.
So we got 3 super chats, which I want to get into this whole Drizzen attack by the British because they're trying to. I will tell you what that trick is, but let me just get to the super chats first. Sprinkle saying almost all national again. So this is another super chat by Sprinkle. Yeah, we did that one.
Yeah, we did that one.
I should have unstarred that one. Yeah, okay, there we go. You good. This one is the next one. Lost you with the super chat saying anyone doubting to condemn Hamas as terrorists betrays Gaza's people. Yes, and thanks guys for the time you are putting in it. Thank you so much, Lost Sweet. I appreciate the super chat. Yeah, and you're right. I completely agree with that. The worst thing that happened to the Gazan people is Hamas. All callers are saying calling Hamas a liberation movement would be like calling Pol Pot a national hero. Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that analogy. Yes. All right. So here's the thing with the Dresden attack. So in World War II, the British, when they attacked Germany, they killed a lot of civilians in Dresden, right? And there's a lot of debate since whether that was justified or not. The British, when they bombed Dresden, they killed civilians on purpose. They killed German civilians on purpose. And some people say that was a war crime because these were civilians. And some other people say, even though that was horrible, that attack led to the fall of Nazi Germany, and more civilians would have died if Britain did not do that. So it was a tragedy, civilians dying, but the ends justify the means. And at the end of the day, we are trying to avoid more civilian deaths deaths, and if that loss of civilian death led to the war ending and more people were saved because of it, it was justified to do so. So here's the thing. Which one of them is correct? It's irrelevant to this discussion, I think, right? So either, let's say it was bad. It was horrible, right? First, it wouldn't be a terrorist attack because terrorist attacks, by definition, are supposed to be by non-state actors. But let's say if it was horrible, if it was condemned, you could condemn it or not. Let's say it was condemned, and then your hands are tied, and we can't. We also have to condemn Hamas. But let's say it was a horrible act. But let's say if it wasn't, okay, well, tell us right now. The question is, right now, do you condemn Hamas? Regardless of whether that attack, you condemn that attack or not, we are now asking the question. You're just trying to distract from answering this question right now. Either what Great Britain did in Germany was wrong or right. Okay, let's put that aside. Do you condemn Hamas? You're trying to change the conversation because you're trying to avoid answering this question. You are trying to make this more complicated than necessary because you're running away. At the end of the day, whatever my answer is to whether or not I condemn that attack, you still haven't answered this question. I will not answer that question until you answer mine. I asked it first. Okay, I will tell you right after you whether or not I condemn that attack. But don't make answering my question conditional to what I'm asking you. But do you guys have any points before we got another super chat from Israel?
I mean, a lot more German civilians died than British civilians or American civilians or whatever. Like, they lost a lot of civilians. Does it mean that this loss of civilians was unjustifiable? I mean, does it make Germany look good and Britain the war criminal? After Germany tried to take over the world and to exterminate
really
the
good
Jews?
point. Yeah,
that's
a really good point.
Germany just like I was checking a little bit of numbers, and Britain lost 70,000 civilians. Britain, okay, and Germany lost 2 million civilians. Like, just to perspective, okay? I still think it was justifiable, those civilian deaths, because unless you did this, Germany would conquer the world and make all the Slavic people slaves and exterminate all the Jews and the Gypsies. So is it justifiable in order to prevent greater evil to conquer the world, to kill so many civilians? I think that yes. Some situations probably they require more aggressive measures. Yeah.
I mean, this is a standard trolley problem discussion that we could have that forever. But I mean, if they are saying, consider what he's saying. They're saying, okay, so you guys cannot condemn the Dresden attack on Dresden because you understand that sometimes evil acts need to be made for a greater good. That's what they're saying. They're like, he's not going to say that. He's like, I'm not going to condemn Hamas for the same reason you guys refuse to, you British people, Piers Morgan, will refuse to condemn the Dresden attack. But remember, if you are giving into that analysis, that standard, then technically you are saying Israel's attack on Gaza is justified because that's the standard that you just put here. When you say now, if you are saying, hey, you guys don't condemn Dresden attack, so that's why we don't condemn Hamas. Okay, well, if it's for a greater good, then are you going to say that Israel is justified? Are you guys going to say like, well, Israel is trying to avoid a full-on genocide on all of its citizens? So yeah, 20,000 people dying, 25,000 people dying. When it comes to Israel being able to defend itself is what's standing in the way on full-on genocide on every single Israeli citizen, including the Muslim and Arabs, right? So if you are saying the ends justify the means, then by that line of reasoning, you should not be able to condemn Israel for any of its attack on Gaza.
Also,
Especially,
please go ahead. No, go ahead, Anna.
And then
especially that Hamas attacked first, just like Germany started attacking Poland and then France, and then like they started it. So you kind of lost your argument. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, all totally great points. And just wanna real quick just point out some differences between the Dresden bombing and the October 7th attack. The Dresden bombing did not personally target children and elderly, right? So it wasn't as if during that military bombing campaign, the British were like, man, if only we could capture German civilians that are under the age of 5 and take them back to our territory. Okay. So that versus.
Well, I mean, Churchill did say we need to destroy the morale of the German people, not just the Nazis. So he did say that.
So I don't disagree with that, Armin. How many 9 months old hostages did the British Army have at the end of that war? How many did they give back? Because I don't remember a single one.
I could argue that bombing children is worse than taking them hostage. So if I wanted to, I'm just trying to put my Dawa hat on.
No. I understand what you're saying. Right. There. What the point I'm making, the comparison I'm making is the bombing, the kind of indiscriminate bombing versus the very particular killings of people. Hamas, the October 7th attack that Hamas did specifically targeted certain people. These were hand-to-hand combat type scenarios versus.
Well, they're not civilians though. They're all occupiers.
I understand that. I understand that. Anyway, it's just not at all good.
Yeah, Israel is just a huge military base, so there are no civilians here whatsoever.
Shame on you, Anna, for being part of this.
Yes.
military.
By the way, we have one of them right here. She's an occupier.
It's gross. It's gross.
I'm a 100% Zionist, so I'm probably the worst liberal of all. Yeah.
No, I am the worst here because I'm not even a Jew and I'm a Zionist, so I'm betraying my own kind or whatever.
I'm in the United States, so we're just supporting them like crazy with money. So we're all culpable. I mean, we're all.
Yes. Okay. By the way, for people who didn't notice, we have an ex-Christian here and an ex-Jew and an ex-Muslim. So we just need an ex-Hindu and we will have the complete set. So that's fantastic. Okay. So ex-Hindus, contact me.
We have the complete Abrahamic set. The complete Abrahamic set.
Yes, we have the complete Abrahamic set. Yeah, that's true. So we have 3 super chats. But guys, thank you so much for the super chats today. We're getting a lot of super chats today. Holotap with the 15 shekels is saying it's like the latest dumb SNL Congress sketch. They are making fun of the wrong people, and then facepalmed and saying, by the way, greetings from Israel. Well, greetings, Holotap, and thank you so much for the super chat. All colors, thank you so much, saying, according to Mojab, it does. He talks well about Amin al-Husseini. I don't know what this is referring to, but okay. Thank you so much, all colors. And then we got another super chat by all colors saying, Nazis sent us sardines. Oh no, Sardinians to concentration camps. Not sardines, Sardinians. Yes, I know that. I know that they did that.
Both
okay,
are bad,
so
though.
Thank you so much for both. Well, no, you can send sardines to concentration camp. That's okay.
No,
okay. You send better. Hey, I like sardines. No, you don't. Okay. Let's continue.
German civilians in World War II, was that a terror attack?
No, because they were responding to Nazi Germany's attempt to destroy the world.
So you're saying
So
you're saying that because of who they were fighting, it's not a terror attack to target civilians. Is that what you're saying?
We have to wrap this up.
That was a trap. Piers Morgan, you shouldn't have played his game. You fell into. So when he was, will you consider Dresden to be a terrorist attack? You should be like, I asked Piers Morgan, let me teach you how to do your job properly. You were like, answer my question and I will answer yours next. Stop distracting the audience. Don't change the subject. Answer my question. I will refuse to answer your question when you refuse to answer mine. But again, Piers Morgan fell into the trap, and now the audience's mind is like, okay, well, what do we condemn Drizzt or not?
Right. And this is where I think Piers Morgan is not great at this, is because
he's learning though.
He is learning, but he takes the bait, and he shouldn't do that. He should hold his interviewee to the actual standards of an interview, right? He should control it, and he should say, like, this has nothing to do with what we're here to talk about. You were asked to come on to talk about this current situation, right? And you're trying to make this something more than what it is. It's a lot simpler than what you're making it. But go ahead.
Yeah,
go on, Anna.
I also just thought about it. Like this Muslim guy, he's saying that there is an analogy, okay, between Britain and Gaza. Like this is what I understand, that as Britain bombed the Nazi Germany, just like this, Gaza attacked Israel. But a minute ago, he said that it was a bunch of vigilantes, and now he's comparing it to an army of a great superpower. So who are the people who came to do the attack? An army or vigilantes?
Right.
Like
he says it's an army. No, he does say Hamas attacked October 7th, but the people that did the most vile things were the average, like people outside of Hamas. Those are the points. But I want to say something. I think it might be better for Piers Morgan not to win all the time, right? That gets the most amount of viewership. So if he was crushing his opponent every single time, it would make for less entertaining, because the other side needs to see that they have a winning chance. So sometimes these embarrassing moments, where like these moments that he could have done better, might actually be better for his viewership. That sometimes he does really good and sometimes he doesn't. That's what works for viewership.
I think you are so charitable to give Piers Morgan the credit of being that.
I'm not saying he's doing it on purpose.
I'm
not saying he's doing it on purpose.
Okay.
I'm just saying at the end of the day, this might help his viewership, whether he's intending it or not. You know,
that's fair. I was gonna say, if you're telling me Piers Morgan has been playing like 4-dimensional
5D chess,
I would be quite impressed.
No, I'm not saying that. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Target civilians.
Are you?
Is that what you're saying?
We have to wrap this up. I'm asking.
Is that
Go back. No idea. Sorry for everybody's ears, but I'm genuinely confused about this moment. I rewound this a couple of times to rewatch it because I was like, did I miss something? Like, did I miss him saying? Did he say something real quick that I didn't hear? I don't know what the heck just happened. I'm completely confused.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you what just happened. They're laughing at Piers Morgan saying we have to wrap this up because they see that as a sign as him surrendering.
So
that he doesn't have a point.
So you're saying what I was saying, that these guys truly do believe that in these types of conversations, the way to project strength, the way to win is to just frustrate the person you're talking to and never answer a question.
Right. So exactly. So basically the strategy is that I ask you a question as a host, you refuse. I will like answer the question. And then eventually when I give up, I'm like, okay, you're not going to answer my question. That would you will laugh at me and be like, look, you weren't able to win. We win because we frustrated you and you gave up. That's a win for us. That's
literally the
argument.
Tactics of a child. That is literally the tactics of a freaking jerk of a child. Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make you look like strong men. It makes you look like cowards. Just straight. Ali Dawah loves that word coward. And it's so weird how he is the biggest freaking coward out there. It just it blows my mind.
Look at their faces. Look at their faces. Look how satisfied they are.
Oh,
they managed to they managed to frustrate the host to the point that they're like, okay, we need to move on. You're not going to answer that question. That's the win. That's the level of intellectual discussion that they're having. We will frustrate you until you give up, and then we'll act like you just ran away from answering the question. Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
Go on, I know you. Yeah, people are saying this is the tactics that you have to go to when you don't have any logical points to make. But let me finish this video.
His neighbors are calling the police right now.
Let's see that again.
I think it's not a terror attack to target civilians.
Are you?
Is that what you're saying?
We have to wrap this up. I think there's no moral equivalence between us defending ourselves against Nazi Germany, who committed a Holocaust that killed. In fact, they killed 12 million people.
Did Britain launch war on Germany because of the Jews?
Huh?
Did Britain declare war on Germany for the sake of Jews?
Britain declared war on Germany.
Did Winston Churchill, in his ultimatum to Hitler, did he say, stop persecuting Jews?
Yeah. Do you see the utter confusion on Piers Morgan's face there when he's asked that question?
Right.
Because it just literally comes out of nowhere and has absolutely nothing to do with this conversation. And the next few words out of this guy's mouth are just complete garbage. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything he's talking about. It does not help us understand this situation anymore. And again, it just makes him look stupid. It genuinely makes him look like he does not understand this situation. It's embarrassing.
Anna, go ahead. Yeah, exactly. Go on.
What he said, like Morgan said, that Britain entered this war from self-defense, and Israel is also entered this war from self-defense. And now this Muslim one comments, no one entered the war because of the Jews. So he agrees with this first point that it was for self-defense, that Britain entered the war for self-defense, and that no one is caring for Jews around the world.
Yes.
So it only shows that Jews need their own country and that Israel can make self-defense. It can defend itself. Here,
that's such a good point, Anna.
Actually defending Israel. He is defending Israel because he agrees that Britain came to the war from self-defense. Okay, so any country can defend itself, and Israel can defend itself, and that no one cares for Jews. He said it, that no one cares for Jews. Only at the end of the war, everything that was done to Jews was unraveled, and finally people realized that there is a problem with the Jews, that they are hated all around the world, that everyone tries to kill them. Okay, so he said it, that no one wanted to defend the Jews. The Jews are not important to any country.
Okay, I got it. I got that point. But let me this is a very, very good point, Anna, because I didn't even think about that. This man just confirmed that Zionism is a legitimate movement, right? So 3 points. Let's put them together. First of all, this is a distraction tactic. When it comes to this being what Britain did, was it self-defense or not? It was self-defense. So he's like, what did they come to save the Jews? Was it because Germany, the Nazis were, doing the thing that I can't say here on YouTube to the Jews? That is irrelevant to the point on whether or not it was self-defense. Yeah, right. Actually, this is a good point. You're right. None of the countries, the United States, Canada, Great Britain, none of them went there to save Jewish people. Unfortunately, in fact, we have evidence that they didn't even bother to bomb the railways. They knew, they had intelligence that the railways were taking the Jews to the concentration camps with the intention of killing them, and they didn't spare even a single plane to go bomb the railways so that the Jews won't die. It was the easiest thing to do, and they didn't bother doing it. That's one point. But at the end of the day, what Britain did was an act of self-defense. the fact that this horrible fact that we're telling you that Great Britain or none of the allies did do anything to try to stop the mass genocide on Jewish people, that's a fact that doesn't contradict the fact that Germany started the war and these other countries were defending themselves. That point that is correct doesn't contradict that. In fact, by you bringing up that point shows how lonely Jews were. You thinking that Jews could just live in, I don't know, Great Britain and United States and not feel threatened all the time, given how much the level of Jew hatred that exists around the world. They were living in Germany quite peacefully, and Germany was one of the best countries for Jewish people. Germany was one of the most progressive countries at the time. And like this, it turned into a fascist Nazi regime that committed the greatest mass executions on Jews ever in world history. So they know that they, just like they can't trust Germany, they're not going to be able to trust United States. They're not going to be able to trust United Kingdom. That's why they needed their own country. That's why Zionism was justified. So you're right, Anna. This guy is justifying Zionism by saying that. But at the same time, this whole point is a complete distraction to the point at hand. Anyways, let's continue.
It just amused me that his destruction actually supports Israel.
Yeah,
they do that a lot. They're very unintelligent, and they say a lot of things that end up making the opposite point.
Yeah.
You know why? Because at that time, anti-Semitism was so rife that people didn't care about the plight of the Jews.
Oh, by the way, look at this idiot. Summer is saying, "Bye, losers. Have fun in your echo chamber of hate." We are literally playing opposing views to ourselves. I don't think you understand what an echo chamber means, okay? And I just highlighted your comment, then that also goes against this being an echo chamber. So there you go. I think maybe go look up the definition of words. But let's continue.
Can you define definition, Armin? I mean, we need to figure that out first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Care about the plight of the Jews. It was only afterwards, after they discovered the death camps and so on and so forth. Don't pretend that the Allies launched this war for the sake of Jews.
I didn't
Anti-Semitism.
say that.
Anti-Semitism.
We only discovered the full horror
then.
of the concentration camps towards the end of the war.
Yeah, I'm only asking.
We did it to save our democracy and freedom.
Well, that could be challenged. There is some evidence that some of the Allies, the intelligence knew that's what was going on. But the vast majority of people, including Germans, discovered how horrible things were after the war. Yeah, but go on, Elliot.
But I mean, it is. Oh, sorry. So it is fair to say that the reason that Britain and the United States and many other countries that joined on the side of the Allied forces did not do it specifically to stop the genocide of the Jewish people. That's fair. Here's the weird thing, though. When did Piers Morgan even come close to suggesting that? It never came up. It never came up. This is just completely out of nowhere, just to waste time, because the guy knows that Piers Morgan is about to wrap up. He already said, okay, we got to wrap up. And so the guy's just throwing out any garbage because he knows that Piers can't respond to it right now. Like, this just has nothing to do with anything.
Okay, this is like the tactic that they use when you say Hamas killed children in Israel, and then they say like, oh, where are the 40 babies that were beheaded? Where are the 40 babies that were beheaded? Like, I didn't say 40 babies were beheaded. I just said that Hamas killed children. Like, oh yeah, show me the images of 40 babies beheaded. Like, that was not my claim, you moron. But because they know, again, they change. This is what is the logical fallacy? The strawman fallacy. They changed. They are responding to a claim that was not made. But Anna, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, he's continuing to defend the Zionism and Israel by saying that look how little regard Europe and the US had for Jews. He's actually strengthening this point.
He's one of the strongest Zionists out there. I think that's great. I don't know who this guy is, but we should really, really praise him for supporting the Zionist mission globally. I mean, he went on Piers Morgan and really shouted out, why Israel has to defend itself and deserves its own state. So thank you to this Andalusi. I don't know, but thank you for being pro-Israeli,
Yes.
pro-Zionist.
Yes. Yeah. But by the way, a lot of you are watching, and only 24 people have liked. Guys, please like the stream. Liking the stream helps more people see our videos. So please, if you're watching this on YouTube, Atheist Republic YouTube channel, just spend a second to like it. And also, if you're watching this on somewhere other place, like on Twitter or on Twitch or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, come over to Atheist Republic YouTube channel and make sure you're subscribed there and like, and also hit the bell notification. Oh, all right. So let's continue finishing this video.
Freedom.
And guess
the
what?
idea is any
And what
moral
are the
equivalence.
Palestinians are
Hang
doing?
on.
What are the
Hang
Palestinians
on.
doing? What do you
Listen,
think the Palestinians are
the
trying to do?
idea is any moral equivalence
Yeah.
is ridiculous. But let me come back one more time before we finish to my simple question. Was what happened on October the 7th a terror attack?
And I'm telling you that if you refuse to
Okay.
call the bombing
Okay.
the bombing of
right, I
Dresden
tried.
as a terror attack,
I tried.
then why?
I've got to leave it there.
Is that not hypocritical?
Dr. Abalation,
I'm
good to
totally
see you
fine to
again.
call it a terror
I want to
attack
say
if
something.
you're willing to call it a terror
Listen,
attack too.
listen.
Can I say something?
Let's join each other.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh no, it's just I just think that's a really good moment in my opinion, because I really do feel like whatever your position is, whether I may think that position is logically incoherent, whether I may think your position is disgusting and atrocious, whatever. The fact that when given a direct opportunity to explain, to justify, to support, to attempt to convince others, when given that direct opportunity, the fact that this man chose purposefully to continue to confuse and obfuscate and not answer the question makes him weak. It makes him a coward. And these three jokers supporting him and thinking that is the best tactic, that is the right way to engage with other people, just shows the absolute garbage level of intellect they bring to this discussion. It is ridiculous. I would be offended if there was somebody on Piers Morgan given the direct opportunity to say, I support Israel. I support Israel's right to defend itself from this horrible genocidal organization, Hamas. I would be offended if somebody was on our side and didn't take that direct opportunity. These guys celebrate that. They celebrate the fact that this man didn't take the opportunity to just say with his chest what he actually believes. He's a coward, and so are they. And anybody else that wants to engage in that behavior. If you truly believe not clarifying your position makes you stronger, makes you more intellectual, you have absolutely no understanding of the world around you. So, I mean, we knew that, though. We knew that with these three. But now we also know it with this guy. He's also in that group. So.
Go on, Anna.
I think that Hamas, for years, they try to portray themselves as a humanitarian organization, as not radicals, as people who just want freedom for the Palestinian people. And I think that a lot of Muslims genuinely believe in this, and agreeing that Hamas is a terrorist organization is just not something that they are capable of, because in their mind they do believe that Hamas isn't a terrorist organization. Like he isn't acting for his public. I feel like he genuinely believes that Hamas are peace seekers or like liberation seekers. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, let's make sure we finish this video. Hold on.
In condemning both things,
Andalusi.
including the IDF as
No.
what they're doing as a terror
I do
attack.
not believe IDF
Then that's
is a
being
terror.
You're a
hypocritical.
hypocrite.
No, it's
That's
not.
being hypocritical.
Okay,
You're a
that's your-
hypocrite.
I'm happy to condemn
That's
all
your
this
view.
as a terror attack.
Yeah, you're not,
but
though, are
you
you?
have to be
You're not.
consistent.
You're a hypocrite.
Piers Morgan.
Final
You're
word
being
to you.
inconsistent.
Iblis.
Final word.
You know, yesterday I was.
See, that was a very strong ending, innit?
of diplomatic and
powerful.
political issues. This is
You know what,
important.
bro? I think there's not.
Your brothers and
Okay, that was it. That was basically it.
Again, I'm confused. I've seen this. I've seen this video more than once now. I'm truly confused. If
That was
can
the
somebody
point.
please look, somebody, I know somebody out there is going to watch this. They're going to watch our analysis of this, and they're not going to agree with us. That's fine. We want that. We want you to disagree with us. Look, I'm seriously asking anybody out there. Tell me in the comments below this video. Explain to me how Andalusi looked good in that video. Explain to me how Muhammad Hijab or Smile to Jenna or Ali Dawa are making any points or clarifying. Just explain to me. Somebody tell me why you would support any of those four people, why any of them did a good job in this video. I would love some help, seriously. Like, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to call you a terrorist sympathizer unless you actually are. But like, I don't understand. I don't understand, because after watching that video multiple times, Armin, I really feel like it makes them all look like children, like little scared children who just don't know anything. And I don't know why you would put that out on YouTube. I'm just confused. So I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I missed something.
Go on, Anna. I think that's the point. I think that's the point. Like, people are saying, like, this is confusing. What is the point? The point is to be confusing, because they don't have any good points.
Yeah.
The whole point is to be confusing. It's to make it messy. It's a simple thing. You support a terrorist group who went in and killed civilians, RAP'd women, and also killed and tortured children. It's the easiest thing in the world to condemn. There are few things in the world that are this black and white.
Right.
The Hamas being evil and a terrorist group and condemning them, these are easy things to do, easy things to claim, and really easy to back up. If you are incapable of doing that, I'm sorry, but you have lost it. History will not remember you kindly. This is the softest. This is a softball that everybody should be able to get it. Just condemning one of the most evil acts of terrorism that we have seen in our lifetime is the easiest thing to do, and you're failing at that. And it's just that simple. A group of people who went and tortured children and RAP'd women and killed this many civilians. It's just that simple. That is evil. You can condemn that. The fact that you cannot do that, the only way to defend that position of not condemning them is to make this look complicated. Something so simple to make it look like it's complicated by saying, what about Dresden? What about this? What about that? How do you define terrorism? It wasn't Hamas. It was some random Gazan civilians. Like, just let's throw out, civilians under the bus to protect Hamas. And I do not wish to be in your place. It's so much better where we are at, where we could just condemn acts of evil, and it's so much easier. This is your brain on Islam. When you have to come up with excuses to try to whitewash this level of brutality and this level of evil, I feel so much. My life is so much better to be able to just come out and say so easily that these are evil people doing evil things. I do not want to be in your position. I do not want to have to go to all the mental gymnastics that you guys have to go through to be able to. And at this point in history, trying to make excuses for the greatest acts of evil. It's really sad to be in your place. I truly feel sorry for you guys. I'm so happy that I don't.
No,
my mind is not.
They're proud of it, Armin. They are proud of it.
Infected by Islam. Yeah. So yeah,
And
there's that.
I think it's really unfortunate that three very well-known YouTubers who constantly speak about Islam, they don't condemn Islamic terrorism. And throughout this whole video, we seen three grown-up men who didn't say a word and only laughed, except for like one comment, like, play it again, Okay, 3 grown
Right.
men had nothing to say about this video that we're doing a stream for 1 hour and 20 minutes on it.
Right. And it's not just 3 grown men, Anna. It's 3 grown men that represent the biggest Islamic YouTube channels in English. These 3 men that you saw, they are the top 3. Okay, one of them is 2 of them are the top 2, and the third one is close to the top 5 at least. These are the biggest Islamic YouTube channels there is in English. Dawah channels. It doesn't get bigger than the combined viewership of these people represents the highest level. These are the most popular. So again, if you want to see how bad the Islamic mindset right now is, remember that these are the most popular role models. These are the most popular role models. The 3 guys that you saw within the Muslim community right now worldwide.
And then the next in line is Daniel Hakikaju.
Ask them. I wish I could ask them their opinion on what they think when Hamas is bombing Al-Aqsa. Like they sent rockets to Jerusalem. Isn't it harmful for Islam? Or anyways.
No, I can defend that. And also Susanna was making another point. Susanna saying it was Gaza and civilians makes things worse for their side, not better. Yes, Susanna, you should. We made exact same point at the beginning. So, and it's good to end it on that as well, to remind people that the people who act like they're pro-Palestinian are the worst people for Palestinians, right? The people, I think some of the best people that actually advocate for Palestinians' lives are the people who also support Israel. And the people who act like they're the people who are holding Palestinian flags are actually, they're supporting the ideology that is making Palestinian lives worse, which is a shame. I hope Palestinians get better advocates for their rights and for their prosperity and for their peace and for their future than the ones that they have right now. All right, guys. Again, I see people like the stream a lot. Thank you so much. How many? Yeah, we got more than 100 likes. Well, thank you, guys. Appreciate the likes. The likes really, really help us. After the stream is over, please leave comments. The comments also really help grow the channel. I see it whenever I ask you guys to leave comments under the YouTube, video. You guys do that. Like, thank you guys. Like every time I ask it, I see more comments. So thank you guys for spending a little bit of time to leave comments after the stream is over. And also, if you really, really want to help us, please go recommend the Atheist Republic YouTube channel to people, and also share this video. All of this doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps us grow. So thank you to everybody who's liking, subscribing, hitting the bell notification, leaving a comment under the video, and also recommending our videos and our channel to other people. Thank you for that. And till next time, bye. Oh, wait. Anna.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, bye. Bye, guys.